Welcome back to the channel. Drew here. And the last 2 years, I've ordered 5 custom orders from Ford, gone through their system. I've had 4 delivered, 2 Broncos, 2 Mavericks, and 1 Lightning on the way. And if you just finished and were able to get a Maverick 2023 order in within the 5 days, I'm going to tell you exactly what to expect over the next year or so. Let's talk about it. Let's jump in. All right, I've been preaching on my channel what a great value the Maverick is, and I've also been talking about how important it is to be prepared when Ford releases the ability to put an order in and to get your orders in as soon as possible, if you've seen some of my videos. And everything played out exactly what I expect, except a little bit even faster. Ford basically sold out the entire 2023 production in 5 days, and to the shock of many people. But I kind of expected this for a certain extent because they haven't taken orders since February of this year. You also had, remember, you had 30% of the entire 2023 year of production was already taken from 22s that were never built, and they're rolling over. So there's a limited amount of space, if you didn't already have an order, one of the 22 orders, then you really had a short window to try to get a 2023 in. But if you're watching this video, the chances you were able to get an order through. And I want to tell you a little bit about, in my experience, the last 2 years of doing 5 different vehicles through Ford, all of them hot vehicles, Broncos, which were even hotter than the Maverick, believe it or not, initially. The Ford Lightning, obviously, is a vehicle that people have been waiting for a long time. And let me tell you exactly what to expect. And let's get the negative stuff out of the way first. So, first off, your Ford dealer is not going to know much about your timeline. Remember, they're going to have that minimum of 80 to 120 orders of people in the same situation as you. They really have no idea where your order's at in the process, and they're not going to unfortunately, be a lot of help to you throughout the process. Also, if you called Ford's, direct line and their customer service, they're not going to know a lot about your order and your timeline and where things are at and how things are progressing. And a lot of times, many of these people are getting hundreds and hundreds of phone calls, and they're going to tell you information just to get you off the phone. And a lot of times it's not accurate. It's really not up to date, and it gives you kind of a false hope or incorrect information. Next, so you're really not going to have any good place to get proper updates on your build. Basically, you're going to be in the blind for about, anywhere from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months, and then you'll get an email that'll say, congratulations, your build has a VIN number. And from that point on, typically it's about anywhere from 2 months to about 2.5. Sometimes, if they have shipping issues like they had the last couple of years, maybe up to 3 months before the vehicle actually shows up at the dealership. But I think this year the timeline could be shorter from that. So once you get your email that your numbers, your VIN number is verified and all of that, that's the time to start making plans as far as that goes. Now, that's the bad news. The good news is, let's talk about all the positives. If you have a 2022 order, the big positive is that pretty much every dealership is going to front load those orders to be one of the first orders of 2023. Now, I get it. You guys have been waiting. You've been frustrated. You're maybe driving a car that should have been traded in 6 months or a year ago, and it's been frustrating. But the positive is, not only are you going to be front in the line on 2023, again, it is still up to your dealer. Make sure you ask your dealer what your priority code is. You want a priority code of 10, which is the closest, the first ones for production. Anything 20 or under is good, especially if you don't have a 22 already. But if you've got a 22, you want to be in the front priority code of 10, and you want to make sure your dealership, you press them a little bit and let them know that that's important to you to make sure your orders are done before any of the new 2023 orders. As far as that goes, the other positive is that Ford has been really good as far as price protection. And Ford has what's called, as far as for the Maverick, they're calling it Maverick Transitional Private Offer. And this is a substantial discount off of 2023 pricing. If you have a hybrid ordered, if you ordered a hybrid in 2022, they're going to give you $2,750 off a 2023 order. If you ordered an EcoBoost, they're going to give you $1,750. That's a substantial discount. And from what I can calculate, you know, most of the Mavericks have only gone up between $1,200 for an XL, XLT, and Lariat's $1,100. And so you're actually, you know, from what I can calculate, you're getting a better discount than even, you know, if you did get a 22 as far as that goes. Now, why did Ford do that? I don't know. It could be some that, you know, because the Maverick has such low margins, so to speak. They're not allowing people to lock in their financing rates, which they've done on some of the other vehicles, to where, you know, you can lock in a 2.99 financing rate no matter how long it took you to get your truck. They're not allowing people to do that on the Maverick, and so maybe that's Ford's way of trying to make their customers happy. And they've been pretty good with this stuff. So, you know, you could get up to almost a $3,000 discount on a 2023 Maverick. So that's a great thing if you, for some reason, your 2022 got rolled over to 2023. Also, you could have option of maybe a new color, or, you know, maybe you decided to change to a different model from the hybrid to the EcoBoost, or for whatever reason. The only vehicle that you can't get that credit for is if you change your order to a Tremor package. And so if you have a 2022, I would not recommend that. So for those who have 2022 orders that have come over, that are rolling over, production of the vehicle is going to start in the middle of November. So many of you should get your vehicle, or potentially could get your vehicles at the beginning of the year, maybe January, February, March, April is what I would expect for you know, for people to get their 22 orders to get their 22 and 23 trucks. So that's you know, it's around the corner. So that's good news for you. Now, if you did not have a 22 order and you submitted for the first time a 2023 order, you know, how long will it take you to get your truck? Well, there's a lot more questions as far as that goes, because it's a little bit harder to calculate. But what I would say is, I think Ford is going to try to expedite things a little bit better than 2022, right? It can't be any worse. But they've made some changes. They're adding a third shift. They're also, you know, simplifying the builds to where they'll have less issues with supply constraints, although there will be some supply constraints. So I would expect, if you got your order through the dealership and submitted on Friday, Saturday, or Monday, then I would expect you to get your order anywhere from 8, 9 to 12 months from now, and basically the second half of the year of 2023, all the way up until they stop making 2023, as far as that goes. And then if you put your order in on you know, Tuesday or Wednesday, and that's when your order went through. Now, remember, it's not specifically tied to you know, when the order was put in. Your dealership does have the ability to adjust where their priority codes are, which vehicles are going to be first. But, you know, common sense says that, you know, the dealership is going to honor their 2022 people first, and then whoever first come first serve, typically they would put those as far as that, an order as far as that goes. Your orders are timestamped when they went through. So I would imagine for most dealers, that's how they're going to start it out. And so you could get you know, your vehicle, 2023 vehicle, at the end, the second half of 2023. But there is no promise. There is no timeline, you know, that you can, you know, I would encourage you not to try to schedule this out and try to plan things out on this, because, you know, I had Broncos that took well over a year and a half. You know, I had my two Mavericks were about 7 months and 8 months, but I had my orders in within the first week of the first 2 weeks of when the truck was debuted. I understand right away the value of it, and as far as the price point, I didn't think I could really lose on that. And so, you know, that's a minimum of 7-8 months. I don't see anybody who's putting in a 2023 for the first time getting their vehicle before eight months or so, as far as that goes. But who knows? Ford could surprise us. Next. Now, before we move on, I will make a prediction. I think that there'll be a lot of people who put their orders in the last couple days, Tuesday or Wednesday, you know, of last week, that they will, you know, they're not going to get 2023s, in my opinion. I think the reason Ford had to cut it off so early, they told their dealership before they were going to give them a week in advance. And basically the people who are receiving the orders are realizing that they've received more orders than they can actually produce for 2023. And that's why they cut it off early, only 5 days from when they open the order bank. So that means that there's a large, substantial order of those last amount of orders aren't going to get 2023s, and they're going to get pushed to 2024, just like Ford's done for the last two years here. But the positive is you'll get 2023 pricing. Unless Ford makes a different change, for everything that they've done from the Bronco, the Maverick, and the Lightning, they've all locked in pricing from the previous year. And I feel like that there's a good chance the Maverick could go up substantially more for 2024, and so you should get a locked-in price even if your order gets pushed to 2024. Let's talk about options and what's changed for 2023. So first off, for the XL, the big thing is they got cruise control, a standard now for the XL. So if you're just a super minimalist and you just want the cheapest, truck on the market, and a budget vehicle, the XL, now it has cruise control. I've had a lot of people in 2022 that they were like, oh man, I really only want an XL, but I need cruise control. So cruise control standard on the XL. Remember, the XL did go up $1,200, but it's still a dirt cheap vehicle. It's still a great value for the price point. There's not a lot of bells and whistles in it. I get it, but if you just need a economy vehicle to get around, especially the hybrid version, and you're talking about 40 miles per gallon, and we can go on. We're not going to go on about that again. Now, XLT. What changed for the XLT? Now, one change is, and I've been digging in deep because I couldn't see it on the build sheets, and it looks like the XLT, I've been verified from someone who actually builds the vehicles, the XLT looks like it's going to come standard with the keypad access. Now, many of you, that may not be a big deal to you, but to me, which I use these vehicles for my Turo side hustle, my Turo business. If you want to learn more about that, you can just look at some of my other videos. I talk about this in detail and helping people be successful in the Turo business and not taking a lot of risk, but playing it safe. And also, if you are, you're going to be waiting for 8 to 12 months or longer for your truck, and if you live in the Baltimore or DC area and you want to get a feel of the truck, I do have two 22 hybrids that are available. One up near Baltimore, one closer to DC. You're welcome to rent it. It's easy to find on Turo as far as that goes, and hopefully that may be beneficial to some of you. But a couple other things as far as the XLT. If you're interested in the luxury package, what's the luxury package? It's a fairly pricey package. It's about $1,700, give or take a little bit. And it comes with a lot of things like heated seats and heated steering wheel and LED lights for the bed and outlet in behind the seats and USB charger behind the seat for the second row, an outlet in the bed, all those type of things. It comes with a lot of features on it. Keep in mind, you do lose some features from 2022, which includes the spray and bed liner. A bed liner is no longer included in the luxury package, and Ford is doing that to try to streamline delivery. And also, remote start is no longer tied into the luxury package. That's something you got to add separately. So keep that in mind and make sure it's worth the extra money for all those other features that we talked about. Now, other changes to the XLT, as far as that goes, is keep in mind, even if you don't get the remote start on the key fob, you still have remote start even without the luxury package through the Ford Pass app, and it works pretty well. If that's important, a lot of times you'll end up using that more than the key fob anyway. So that could save you a little bit of money. Other ways to save you money, some bargains. I've been a proponent, I've talked about it in a couple of the videos, that of the bed mats over a spray-in or drop-in bed liner. And a spray-in bed liner is like 600 some bucks. And potentially could slow down your order. Just get the bed mat. The bed mat's 160 bucks, and it actually does 90% of what a spray and bed liner will do. It actually does some stuff that it doesn't, because a spray and bed liner, things will roll around typically. The bed mat, I have it in both of my Mavericks, and it's very grippy, and so things tend to stick there. If you're not familiar with that, you can look it up. But basically, it protects the whole bed of it. It just doesn't do the sides, and I recommend it. It can save you some money, and it could, it could not slow down your process waiting for a spray and bed liner. That's more things they have to do at the factory for your vehicle. So also sliding window. I think a sliding window is a good value for 155 bucks to have a sliding window. That can be very useful if you need to put 2x4s. Remember, your bed's only 4.5 feet, so sometimes you need to poke stuff through there, or if you want to be able to reach in to tie stuff down. There's just a lot of benefits of that. I think it's a good thing. Also the hitch. Now I don't have know the exact price to add the hitch, but last year was only like 100 bucks. So if it's 120 bucks to add the hitch, even if you don't plan on towing a lot, sometimes the hitch is handy for a bike rack. That might be something you want to add just for kicks and giggles if you ever decide you need it for something like a bike rack or something like that. So that can be beneficial. The Lariat. Lariat, obviously the big thing with the Lariat is you get leather. This year you get all-wheel drive standard on the Lariat, and there's a bunch of other luxury features, including a Copilot 360. Oh, for the XLT, don't forget Copilot 360. You also, if you add that, it's $650. They give you a full-size spare tire. So if that's important to you, it's probably worth the 650 bucks. Not just for the tire, but for the rest of the stuff that comes with it. Now, there is a second level to the Copilot 360. I forget what they call it, but basically it's a more advanced version of it. And it gives you like adaptive cruise, and that can be added definitely on the Lariat version, but it's possible that it might be, I think you might be able to even be added on the XLT as well. So as far as that goes. So listen, one thing a lot of you have been, and all of us, is a little frustrating trying to pushing an order through, because it was difficult to see what the pricing are on the options. And if you've built a lot of vehicles like I have, I love playing with the different things and looking for good values of things that I can add and building a economical vehicle, but looking for things that can make the vehicle a little bit better for a low cost. We haven't been able to do that. The configurator, the Maverick configurator, is not going to go live till October 15th, and it's only like a month after the order banks are closed. But I am pretty confident. You can talk to your dealer specifically, but I'm pretty confident that most dealerships, remember, just because the order's through and it's saved in the system, you should be able to make minor changes here or there to your build. So you should have production's not going to start till the middle of November. For most people, you should have over a month to play with the configurator and see if there's any last things you need to change, or even changing the color, and submit that to your dealer. They should be able to update that for you. Don't feel like you have to be locked into whatever got pushed through the system. I know a couple of my orders, when I got the actual build sheet back, had stuff on there I didn't want, had stuff on there, but my guys were just trying to push it through, and that was most important, is getting the order in, get it assigned to me, get a timestamp, and then I should be able to make small minor changes as far as that goes. If you find out that you can't do that, please put it in the comments, because I'd like to hear about that if that's an issue. I can't imagine Ford locking in all these orders when a lot of them are not going to be submitted to Ford to actually build for many, many months. So hope this is helpful, guys. Stay tuned, and I'll try to keep you updated in the process. And until next time, guys, I'm out. Thanks.